Measuring a shaft size. Today we'll use two shafts. A very small one is a sample shaft, very light, and by contrast, a larger shaft, very much like what you'll use in the lab for lap 3 in IMT-121. First, starting with the small shaft, the measurements will be taken as 1, diameter of the shaft, 2, the length of the shaft. In this case, you can see it in the picture. This one, a little longer. Step back so you can see the full length. Length of the shaft. In measuring diameter, there are several tools that we can use. We could use a ruler, measure directly as a very rough estimate. In doing that, we'd start off with zero marking. And from view, you can see that roughly fits about 3/8 of an inch. So you get the angle here. You can see the marking is about the 3/8 of an inch mark. For the larger shaft, it's about a 1/2 an inch. So nominally, 1/2 inch shaft, 3/8 shaft. Of course, that's a very rough estimate with a ruler. Preferred would be either to use caliper or, as recommended in your lab manuals, the micrometer. We're going to start with the micrometer in usage so that you can understand how to use a micrometer in practice. This one is a 0 to 1 inch micrometer. In other words, it measures all the way from 0 inches all the way out, and we can open this up, as you can see, many, many turns, because it measures accurately to the 1,000th of an inch. You see the numbers piling up here. 0, I don't know if you can actually see it or not, but basically these are marked in tenths of an inch. 6, 7, 8, 9, and finally the 1 inch mark, where with the ruler we can see the opening size is roughly exactly 1 inch. Now in reading a micrometer, we start off at the 0, 0, 0 mark. As we turn the micrometer, one complete revolution, we go 5, 10, 15, 20, back to 0. That first revolution is 25,000th of an inch. Then the second revolution adds 5, 10 more to the 25, till the second revolution gets to 50,000th of an inch, which is 0.05 inches. The third revolution gets to 75 thousandths of an inch. You can see here the third little marking down here. You probably can't see it. And the fourth revolution, finally with the 25 thousandths of an inch for each revolution, the fourth one gets all the way to the 1 mark, where it's a complete 100 thousandths of an inch, or 1/10 of an inch. Now we will measure our shaft diameter by opening up the micrometer. We then attempt to place the shaft widthwise in the jaws of the micrometer. So you can see it's basically fully through. We don't want to go this way because we won't get much of the diameter, or this direction. We want to go right through the center of the shaft. Once we do that, and it is a bit of a three-handed operation, I'll caution you on that, the intention is to tighten the micrometer. Probably see it best at an angle, actually. Tighten the micrometer until it's tight around the shaft. Now look up to check and make sure we put it through the center of the shaft. When we do that, we can tighten, and then we can turn around to read our number, which in this case we've opened up all the way to 3 and past the third marking. So it's 3.75 plus, actually it's past the second marking, 3.5 or 0.35 inches plus, and we stop where the line goes with the 19 there. The 19 is added to the 350 to make a 369 thousandths of an inch. Remember, 3/8 would be about 375. This is actually measuring a small bit less than that. It comes in as 3,000 or 369 thousandths of an inch. Alternatively, we could use a caliper. To measure this larger shaft, I merely zero the caliper as per lap 1. Extend out the caliper to fit closely around the shaft. And read in place here the numbering of this shaft, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, over 6/10 of an inch. Not quite the 7/10 mark, but 6/10. So it's 0.624. You can see from the dial right there, you can probably see easily we're at the 24 mark. Add that to the 0.624, and so it's at 0.624 inches. 0.625 would be 5/8 of an inch, so this is actually more accurately a 5/8 shaft rather than a 1/2 inch shaft. Next, we're going to measure the length of this long shaft. In order to do that, we normally use a tape measure. Hook the tape measure on one end, extend out the tape measure, and catching the end, we catch it so we rest the tape on the edge, center, so to speak, of the shaft, and from this end of the shaft, we can see that it is 12 inches. So what we have here is what's nominally a 5/8, exactly a 0.624 inch by 12 inch long shaft.